Good morning, everybody, to the Texas Real Estate Show. And here we are on this bright and fantastic Thursday morning. And we've got some points that we're going to talk about this morning. I'm here with my good friend Kay. How you doing, Kay?
I'm good, but you just lied. You just lied.
This is
It
one of
is
the
not
most
bright.
beautiful sunny days that we've had in Houston for the longest time. We go from 100 degrees heat on Monday and Tuesday to it's pretty cold actually outside, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
But it's
nice and cool.
raining
Like cats and dogs right now.
that's it. Let's take that. I was thinking of something a bit more sharp, but I'm going to control my language. But basically, yeah. So here we are on a Thursday morning. We've got some interesting points this morning. The first thing we're going to talk about is a woman that lost $200,000 in a home flipping Ponzi scheme after being lured. There's a lot of people out there that are taken away with, flipping houses. Well, what I'm going to tell you is flipping houses is a lot harder to do than what people think it is. It takes expertise. I mean, think of the things that you've got to do. First of all, you've got to buy it at the right price. Then what you've got to do is to evaluate all the repairs. Now, when it's a Ponzi scheme, you're sort of selling it on and on and on and on and on. And that, you've got to. We had an instance quite recently when we found out it was one of our agents who somebody tried to sell her mother's house by exchanging the title. There's so many things the way you can trip up if you really don't know what you're doing. And basically, it's flipping houses is difficult. It's not the right way, in my opinion, to sell houses.
And to make money.
What's that?
And to make money.
Well, it's easier to lose the money when you're flipping a house than what it is to make it. And that's what people don't realize.
Yeah. I think
we flipped a house last year and we thought we bought it for a really good price. The market flattened off around December, Christmas, it normally does, and we just bought it the wrong time, and by the time we actually sold it in May and we paid all the holding fees, because you're paying the mortgage on a monthly basis for the hard money, to be perfectly honest, I think we just about broke even. We didn't make any money on it, which, to be perfectly honest, was a waste of time. If I'd left my money in stocks, the way the stock market reacted in that time, it probably would have doubled by 3 times. So, it's just a really, really bad situation. So what do you want to do, Kay? Do you want to?
So there's the first maybe 30 seconds of this video I think is very interesting, so we can watch that, and then at about maybe the 5:45 mark as well, I just want us to look, or I'm sorry, not at the 5:45, the 5:15 mark, up until the 5:45 mark. I want us to see what she kind of got for what happened to her housing. So that's what we're going to play right now. But yeah, I completely agree. While we're waiting for that to load up, I completely agree with just the fact that it seems like it's a great thing to do, especially when you have extra money, because that's what people always say. Every wealth guru, everybody's always like, get into,
But they're in the
property.
business supposedly of selling knowledge. They're not in the real estate business.
Yeah, and some people are like, oh,
that's
yeah,
how they make the majority of their money.
Yeah.
Is selling courses, selling books. And here's the other thing that, as a real estate agent, that really I find difficult to accept. You get some people that just want to sell the property and get out from under the deal. That's one thing. But you get some people here that buy properties and they're offering ridiculous prices for these people. Just, they're saying, well, I'm offering it for cash. They're not buying it for cash. All they're doing is getting a contract on the property, and they're buying a financial interest on the property. Then they're going to somebody else, selling that contract to somebody else. So on the same day of closing, they could make 20 grand or 30 grand.
Yeah.
And I think that should not be allowed.
Yeah, they're preying on people who don't really know what to do in the business. But let's take a look at the video. And I have something to say after we watch this video too.
Sure.
But
Yes,
so yeah. So essentially, it's a it's a company called I Flip Chicago, and they've just gone ahead and they said that they would provide people with a lender, find a house to flip, give them access to a contractor, and then sell the home for them. And then they would get 30% of the total profit, essentially, from doing that, which is so strange to me because they're not doing anything.
Well, let me tell you what a lot of hard money lenders do. A lot of hard money lenders, what they'll do is they'll loan up to 70% of what they see the ARV, which is the after repaired value. So if the after repaired value is $300,000, they'll want to buy the property for about 180,000. Say there's 45,000 repairs, maybe 225,000. Okay. But what they will do is, if the buyer who bought the property defaults on the loan and they do the repairs and they don't meet the obligations of the loan, then the lender will foreclose on the buyer. Do you understand?
Mhm.
And then the lender will get the property plus the repairs, and have guess what they do? They resell it, and then they've got all that profit plus the repairs that have been done. So a lot of these hard money companies are just they're not actually intended. Some of them companies are set up where they don't really, want you to have the house. They set up because they want you to fail on your project. So they take your money, they take your time, they take your repairs.
And they basically get paid twice.
Yeah.
Or
And they
3
keep on, they keep
times
on
or
doing
4,
it.
yeah.
They keep on doing it.
It's the same. And that's why they're calling it a Ponzi scheme because of that. Because I think that, after working here and things like that, I have, we have the in-house mortgage lender, right? So to me, what they're saying is something that you can just do yourself if you just sit down and kind of learn yourself, right? You can find a good lender. You can, find a house that you want to flip. You can go on yourself and you can make sure that you have some good contractors. It's going to take a little bit more, but rather than giving somebody 30% of your profit, that's a lot. That's a big portion of your profit. So rather than giving somebody 30% of that, you would think that you'd kind of be able to do those things yourselves. But if we go through and we go to the 5 minute and let's say 5:25, just to look at the amount of money the loan statements. So if you go to that, it's actually 529. That 529 mark, you can see their loan statements. It says late charges $206, cross interest $12,000, cross interest again $10,000, cross interest $8,000, $13,000, $4,000, 6,700, $7,000, and then it says satisfaction of mortgage fee. So all of these interest charges have equaled up to $67,000.
See, but they're putting them fees on to make it so it's not worthwhile to pull it back.
Yeah, they're saying that the loans didn't belong to them. And so if you keep looking, if we just keep playing the video after that, you can see their properties that are, one of the women's is in foreclosure. And so they're going through and they're looking, they're showing us what we have.
If you could stop this predatory lending, and that's what it is, I think it would help the price of houses.
Mm-hmm.
This is how you bring right, because it's the wholesalers that are pushing the prices of the houses up a lot, because they don't really have the experience in a local market, and they use the real estate agents, for comps and such like. And sometimes what you'll do is you'll get some of these home flippers that just get the real estate license.
Yeah.
So it gives them access, to the MLS. I think it's a huge conflict of interest.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing about this scam, they said that the loans that are in their name that they are getting charged interest fees on, they can't even get the money to access it to be able to pay the contractors for them to do the work on the houses. You saw what that house looked like.
Right.
So they can't even get that money. So it's just kind of like you said, it's predatory loan practices, and I think it's crazy that you can be responsible for someone else's loan, but that's what happens.
But it's pushing, all this is just pushing paper.
Yeah, it's not, they're not doing anything.
And they're dumping loans on people.
Yeah, and you put this woman, what, $170,000 almost, and then the other woman, $200,000, and 7 homes are in foreclosure from these people, which is,
I told you they're specifically doing this to pull the homes back, so they've got the homes.
Yeah, they like you said,
that's all they're doing is getting other people to fix them up at their expense, pulling them back.
Mm-hmm. Until the house is completely done, and then they can sell it.
The next person does it.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's such a sad thing, because I think we talked about something similar to this with the whole DJ Envy guy, and he was, having people invest $10,000, $5,000 into just a big mutual fund, and so that they could purchase houses, and then he would pay them out however much, a percentage of whatever they made. But it was like, if the house doesn't go through, or the house gets sold for less, you're out $10,000. You're out. And they're just targeting people who are unaware of how the housing market works or how it can work. And so, yeah. But
talking about different housing markets, we're going to talk a little bit about Austin today. And an article came out this morning that basically was saying that, the prices in Austin in Texas really shot up last year. They went through the roof, to say the least. But basically, what's happening in the area now, Austin is really feeling the pinch, because a lot of the prices have come down, and they're starting to come down. And there's a lot of people Tesla have just announced that they're moving a lot of people to out of California to Austin, which I find really interesting. That basically there's a lot of realtors that are telling us that they're trying to get out of Austin as quick as they can.
Well, you know what's interesting about that? Later on in this article, further down, a lot of people are moving, a lot of companies are moving out of Austin again. So a big company called Oracle has moved from California to Austin, but now they're moving out of Austin, and it's only been about 4 years. So that's what's been happening. And the same thing with Facebook. Facebook is moving out of Austin as well.
So Facebook are moving out, Tesla's moving out.
No, or I don't know about Tesla. I don't think Tesla, because Elon Musk lives in Austin, but a company called Oracle is moving out as well, which is a big
Electronics
yeah,
software company.
exactly. So within such a short time, people are moving their headquarters back and forth, and it's kind of crazy. But I think one of the big things is that people just kind of got too excited, I guess. I don't know. Um, it was someone said in the comments, nearly the same thing happened in Nashville. 80% was affordable middle class homes. Now rebuilds and remodels, 80% of it is for $200,000 or more income earners. So regular people are just not able to afford the lifestyle anymore.
In Austin.
In Austin, they're talking about Nashville, but yeah, the same
Nashville.
thing. But in the article, yeah, it says the same thing in Austin. So someone said, been living in Austin since 2009. It doesn't have its keep Austin weird charm anymore. My first apartment, 2 bedrooms on 53rd Street, I paid $700 a month in 2009. Now it's $2,600 a month.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
My daughter's working in Austin at the moment, but she's living in a place called Buda, wherever that is.
Oh, it's right in between San Marcos and
Right.
Austin.
Her and her friends are getting an apartment or a house in Buda. It's probably a house.
Yeah, it's probably a house. Buda's like a nice country area. It's very what is it called? Very
she's excited
earthy.
because
Yeah.
she said she'd rather drive into Austin.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you can do it, you can do it. But I just think a lot of people try to blame inflation, but it's not only inflation. I think it is the fact that, like you said, um, corporations are purchasing houses, and
That's the problem.
they're just making it very hard for everyday folk.
People are forming, even everyday people are forming LLCs and buying multiple properties.
Yeah, that's what someone, there were a couple people on YouTube that said to do that maybe in like 2019 to 2021, and then everybody started to do it, and now nobody can get a house anymore.
There's very little houses that you can flip it.
Yeah, there's, especially ones that are in up and coming neighborhoods. So I just wanted to play this really funny video before we end, and we can talk about it too, because I think a lot of the comments on this video are really, really good. So the last one where it says, our last video just talking about house prices in different states versus California. So we're gonna watch that. So I thought that was pretty funny because it's very true. That's what Texas is becoming a little bit more expensive, but still, I mean, it's still a great housing market, especially here in Houston. Houston and San Antonio, I think, probably have the best housing markets in Texas. And then when it comes
to... You know what? I'll tell you where house prices in Texas are really starting to increase is down in Galveston.
Because of the beach.
Galveston, Surfside.
Yeah.
You know, even with the hurricanes, it's so difficult to believe that the house prices are increasing.
That is so interesting. I would have never thought that.
The beach has never been for me. I've never been somebody to enjoy beaches.
I'm not a big fan of the smell of
Fish.
water, yeah, and it's nice to go once in a while, but I'm not really a beach person. But I also think that, you know, Ohio, I don't know anybody who wants to live in Ohio.
I lived in Ohio for a time.
I did not like Ohio when I went to Ohio. I think I think Columbus is nice because of the fact that it's a college town and things like that, but I don't know. I think the proximity, the closeness of the houses is what kind of like weirds me out. All the houses are like right next to each other.
Well, that's sort of Europeanish.
Oh, so you're like, oh,
That's
used to.
sort of normal.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll round it up.
Mhm.
I've got some things that I've got to get on and do this morning, but I want to thank everybody for the time, for tuning in. It's been a quick Texas real estate show clip today. We'd like to thank you for tuning in. I'd like to thank Kay. Please like, subscribe, turn on notifications, post some of the comments in the chat so we can take a look at them. We'd like to see them and see what what's in the chat. So until next week, same time, same channel. Would you like to sign off, Kay?
Did I say ta-ta for now?
You want to say bye to everybody?
Yeah, that's it. I'm stealing your sign off.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll tell everybody. So Kay Johnson saying bye for now. Steve Williams, I'm saying bye for now. Ta-ra for now.